Fifth edition is day 53. And am I centered here? I look like I'm centered. I guess I'm centered. Day 53. And I've been getting a lot of questions about Game Changers. I'm going to talk about it shortly. I haven't watched the film yet. The reason I haven't watched the film is because I know it's going to really annoy me because I already know some of the claims that are made. And they're absolutely nonsense. Okay, forget about the film being supportive to vegan or saying that vegan's healthy or whatever. I'm talking about like specific claims that they make in there about certain foods and stuff like that. It's just absolutely, nonsense. And I mean, some of these things you can test for yourself, and you can tell me whether they're nonsense or not. So I don't know why they put them in the film when you can just go and test this yourself and see that it's absolute bogus. But I'm going to talk about it in the near future. I know about some of the claims because I've listened to a number of people that I follow and respect in the industry. Some of these people are scientists and like researchers, and then others are just people who have a lot of formal education in nutrition and training and such. All right, so I should probably watch the film and then I'll talk about it, which I will soon. I just have to muster up enough. I just have to self-talk before I watch it, okay? So I don't break my TV, okay? All right. Somebody asked me some time ago, my apologies on the tardiness on this. Somebody asked me some time ago about artificial sweeteners. Are they dangerous? All right, so the short answer on this is that they are not dangerous. All right, I don't think they're dangerous. All right, so there is some science out there to suggest that, it's that, for example, that aspartame has been linked to cancer in mice. And so there's, I believe, a loose association, but I do know that the amount that they were giving the mice was like an obscene amount. Okay, like 250 times the amount that a typical human would have per day. Okay, so, sometimes it's not necessarily whether something is good or bad. It's about the dosage and the chronicity. Okay, so like, how much are you giving someone or an animal, and over what period of time and how frequent? Okay, like what, this matters, right? I mean, I have a tanning booth in my studio that I use, not very often. When I say not very often, I typically use it once per week for about 7 minutes. People always say, "Well, you're going to get cancer," and I'm like, well, you have to have some exposure. Like, you actually, for your health, you need some exposure to, some sunlight or those rays. There's a certain amount. If you do too much, yeah, maybe. I mean, that might be true. It appears to be true. The reason why I say appears is because, like, we need some exposure for sure. I mean, I know that. But, people want to, like, avoid all exposure, right? So, you've always got to look at chronicity and dosage, all right? So, Tylenol is a perfect example, right? If you have a quarter of a bottle or more of Tylenol, you're going to die pretty fast. But I know people that take one Tylenol every single day, and they're fine, right? It doesn't appear to have any health ramifications. But if you take 25 of them, you're probably going to die pretty fast. So you have to look at the dosage. Okay. So there doesn't appear to be any evidence that if you take a reasonable amount of artificial sweetener, that it's going to cause any kind of cancer, or I think some of the other things have been neurological diseases. Okay, but I cannot guarantee you that. All right, but you always have to look at, again, I want to stress this. It's not whether something is good or bad, right? It's not something. It's. You have to look at, at what point does it give. I mean, look, this is tap water here. Do you think there's lead in this? Do you think there's lead in this? I can guarantee you there's lead in this. there is lead, and lead makes you go loony. The question is how much, right? There's an allowable limit by law, the amount of lead that can be found in this water. And hopefully it's not exceeding it. But there's definitely lead in there, okay? Is that good for you? No. Lead will make you go loony. You'll lose your mind if you have enough lead in your system, okay? So the question is how much can we get by with? All right, so as far as I'm concerned, in terms of having any link to diseases, you have to have like a huge amount. And again, this has only been shown with mice. Okay. Now the other question with it is, and this is, I've heard this too, that artificial sweeteners cause weight gain. Like, and that's okay to ask this question because it's been put out there many times, but it's like, that's absolute nonsense. No, it has no bearing on your metabolism, so it doesn't like suddenly slow down your metabolism. I don't know where this came from. I don't know who put it out there. I remember reading somewhere that having aspartame like tricks your body into thinking it's getting sugar, and then it's like hogwash science. Then the body starts storing. It's just like, come on. So perfect example is when I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding contest. Okay, and I only bring this up because when you get ready for a bodybuilding contest, you get super lean. Like, you got to get lean. Like, you got to get leaner than anybody on this earth. All right. Essentially, you got to get your body fat down to like 4 or 5%. I'm having extra artificial sweeteners. I try to have stevia. This is stevia, by the way. All right, so it's less artificial, or it's not really artificial, but it's still there's still some processing has to happen with it. But I still have sucralose and stuff like that. And if it was going to make me fatter, I would not be having it during my contest prep. Okay, so there is no science. There's nothing. There's not one shred of science anywhere that suggests that if people take artificial sweeteners, they're going to get fatter. Okay, so disease, I'm confident that with the small amount that you have, you'll be fine. But I can't say for sure. But I really don't think so. I can't say for sure. There's no science supporting a small amount causing disease. That I can say. But I can definitely tell you that this will not, this or any other artificial sweetener, well, this isn't really artificial, but any artificial sweetener will cause weight gain, okay? All right, message of the day. Well, it's not really related to anything I talked about tonight, but, I want to remind you that easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't change you. So when things get hard, as jerkish as it may sound, or as jerky, you got to suck it up, okay? Easy doesn't change you, all right? So now it's not to say that, it has to be, extremely overwhelming. It shouldn't be, but to some degree we have to cause some discomfort in order to see change, right? There has to be some level of discomfort to see some change. So if you want to see good change, expect it to involve some level of hardship. All right, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is with anything in life. That if you want to attain anything of any value, it's going to require that extra effort. Okay, put the extra effort in, you will see. Easy doesn't change you. All right. Day 53. Wrap up here. Submit and commit to this challenge. And as always, positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself and give some daily gratitude. You'll be much happier. This I guarantee you, especially if you're down the dumps. Just give some gratitude. Always remind yourself of all the things that we are so lucky and grateful for, like water. We can just go to the tap and put our mouth underneath it and just glug, 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 glug. Many people struggle for this on a daily basis. So be thankful. Be thankful. We don't have problems. Us living in this little bubble here, we don't have any problems. Any real problems, okay? For the most part. Okay? Guys, I will talk to y'all soon. I'm rambling. I'll get on Game Changers and we'll talk about it soon, okay? And I'll talk about muscle soreness soon because somebody asked me a question about that, all right? Day 53 wrap up. I will see you guys all later. See ya. I guess it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work either. It's on.